Hey, I'm Chris Anderson. I'm a cartoonist, writer, and storyboard artist. My work can be found in the pages of Creepshow and Heavy Metal, my co-creations Lost Angels, Spectral, A Showcase of Fear, Chaotic Neutral, as well as my upcoming books Something Seems Off and Three-Headed Pigman, which will be serialized on my Patreon. On today's comic book gene pool episode, we're going to be talking with creator Matt Lesniewski about Detective Comics number 665, a book that made him want to be a cartoonist. Welcome to Chris Anderson Comics. Hey everybody, I am very excited to have a very special guest on today, Matt Lesniewski. Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, how you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So this is the comic book gene pool episode that I like to have guests on like twice, once to talk about their work and then once to talk about a book that either like got them into comics or influenced their style in some way or just like that they're psyched about and want to talk about, just something that excites them and or got them into comics and is part of sort of the makeup of why you were a creator or your style or anything like that. You picked Detective Comics number 665. I found this at a comic shop the other day when you had told me about it, and a couple of us were looking at it and going, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. I can see like the Kelley Jones in your work. And then we open it up and we're like, that's not Kelley Jones in here at all. It's just the cover. So why did you pick this book?
Yeah. Okay. So it came out, I believe, 93. That's when I was born. So.
Oh, you're a baby.
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly when I saw this, but it couldn't have been more than, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. So
okay.
The cover is a big part of it.
I'm sure.
When I first saw this was the first time. Well, at this point, I already know Batman. I love Batman, like every other kid does. But for me, this was the first time I saw something that already existed, and it was represented in a way that I had never seen it before. And you know my style. It's a little out there.
Yes.
So it's kind of a thing of like the chicken or the egg. It's like, did something like this influence me to go that direction, or was I already tuned to be drawn to something like this, whereas someone else the same age might see it and think nothing of it?
Right.
But this was also early on when I'm discovering, oh yeah, the cover is not what's on the inside more often than not, because I'd be getting these bagged and boarded in long boxes and just pulling them out and like, oh, what's this? And
pulling out by the cover, right?
Exactly. So you've got, there's multiple things going on with this one. Like that's number one. It's a distortion and a warped view, almost like a glimpse through another lens of something that's already immensely popular, and you only think of it in one or two ways, or at least in my kid brain at the time. And when I saw this, I'm like, it like I said, I don't remember if not even remember, I don't know if did that birth something in me, or was it already there and this just resonated immensely. So that's one thing with just the cover. And then another, you're seeing Batman. He's pure evil on this cover. He's maniacal. He's horrifying, and that's everything Batman's supposed to be, right? Not only that,
Yeah, he's supposed
Robin
to
is
strike fear into criminals, right?
yeah, and Robin is in the background. He's genuinely terrified.
Yeah,
He's traumatized.
yeah,
So whenever I first saw this, I remembered being genuinely scared, and not many images really do that to you.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, looking at it now, it's as if I have a bird's eye view, and I'm just, it's all laid out flat there. I get it. There's nothing about it that's, well, what's going on there? But to the young me, it was like I didn't even know what I was looking at. It didn't even. So this image really stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Kelley Jones. There's very few cartoonists that were able to get in and establish themselves as creators in the big two. And I don't know, somewhere around this time seems to be when it really happened. And pay attention to this, Marvel and DC, because you got a creator like Matt. This cover like this got a creator like Matt to want to grow up and be a comic book artist. Like, stick your neck out and hire some interesting cartoonists now and then, because yeah, you had people like Sam Keith, you know,
Yeah,
um, Sienkiewicz got in as like a Neil Adams clone. So, but
right.
once he was in and established, he started to evolve into what he was. I wonder if he would have been hired, to work on books if he had already had that style going in. But like Kelley Jones, the way that he, like, look at those horns on the Batman that he draws. They're just wild. And then,
I
if you look
know.
at covers, they'll have like in the back, it's like, here, coming issues, you'll see like the way that he drew Bane and even Batman. Look at, there's like a million like rib muscles. The anatomy is
Oh yeah.
totally
Not only
and
that,
bizarre. And sign
um,
me up for it. I want to read that.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
It did multiple things. I guess right now we're just, for now at least, we're talking about Kelley Jones fully. Like, let's praise this
First,
genius.
yeah,
Um,
yes,
yeah, he does multiple things at once. He excites you. You want to know. You really want to know what's going on there. Like, not only that, every time it's unique. Like, uniqueness is on a 10. You've
yeah,
never seen anything like that. It's
yeah,
but it still works. It completely works. Like, look at the cover in 499. He's become a beast. He's
yeah.
no longer, and it just, that speaks to me. It he opened up what you're allowed to do, and somehow he got away with it, and he triumphed while doing it.
That's
And
4.99.
me, that's what's oh, you have it.
Yeah, well, it's right here. So I put it up to the camera.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see it.
Yeah,
But yeah, but going back to the main cover, like, I don't know, I thought I was looking at a nightmare as a kid, but
yeah. I
a
mean, if
beautiful
you're
one
5 years old finding this, that'll affect you. And you're at it like it's a nightmare, but it's also pulling you in. You're not
100%.
necessarily repelled by it, you know?
Right. I was
So is
scared
this
just
something that you
enough.
saw and you were like, I want to do this?
I think so. Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
as we were talking about a little bit before the recording. I don't know. I couldn't necessarily pinpoint one. Like, yeah, this is the reason. This is everything. If it wasn't for this
Hmm.
book, I'm not doing comics. But this is definitely one that sticks out. Um, for everything that I'm talking about. Like, it just, I already loved it. I already loved comics. Like, they were always there. As a kid, I
Yeah.
never got into them. They were just there.
Hmm.
But this is one that sticks out that I'm like, something special is going on here. Something, I don't know. It just, everything about this, like, the the there are no limits. It's
Right.
Yeah, it's just like a portal to another dimension when I'm looking at this. So
Totally. And your work is actually quite similar in the way that you're describing it, not in the way that it necessarily looks. The only like direct line that I could draw is the way that like he played with fabric and things, and you love to play with twists and fabric and folds and things like that in your work, you know, and it like Kelley can make fabric unsettling in a good way, and you can make fabric unsettling in a pleasant way. You know what I mean? So there is a bit of that in there, and like like obviously he stretches things, and you know it uses anatomy more for expression than for realism.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean he is a genius.
Yeah, he yeah, like you said, he stretches the anatomy, he makes it his own, but it still completely translates. And
Yeah,
it's those characters, like there's no confusion. You're just in awe of how he was able to pull that off. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, let's make these horns on Batman's head, 3 feet tall. Let's make the teeth. He's almost like a monster at this point.
yeah.
He's brutalizing these thugs
With this stick with nails in it. You know,
yeah, it's a horror movie. And then
yeah.
and in the cherry on top is Robin back there. He's never seen anything scarier.
Look at his hair.
He's
He looks like he's 40.
Yes, he does. Odd, but I still love it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's just like something's just slightly off, but it's
And not only
compelling.
That, another thing that sticks with me to this day, at least comics from this era, they all still, especially with Kelley Jones, it looks like someone who pulled out a piece of paper, grabbed a bunch of pens, and they made something happen. And that aesthetic is fully singing right now. It's all there. And not to down anyone, but that I just feel like that is dying a little bit, and that's part of what I fell in love with. That was part of it too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm seeing this portal.
Yeah.
The vehicle into it is a pen and paper. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool as fuck. Like, like
yeah,
I can do that maybe. Like you look at cartoons, I don't even begin to wrap my head around how that happens. But this, right. As a kid, like it just. Yeah, this is like.
There's definitely no photo reference going on in this cover. There's no. You know, there's no attempt to try to make this part of our reality. You know, it's just pure comics.
Even not to critique it, but and to my kid brain, I'm not thinking this. I'm not even aware of this. The perspective is non-existent. I mean, look at those bricks.
Right.
It's flat. Yep. And then the buildings in the background, they're just kind of, he's just kind of winging it, but it works.
Yeah. The background's not important.
Screw
What's important is right here. Yeah.
My critique is meaningless.
Well, that's the thing. I just did an episode on New Mutants number 87 that I put out. I think it came out yesterday. And a couple people were talking about how they liked it because I kind of put it into the perspective of, listen, I was 13 years old when I was looking at this thing, and this thing was blowing my mind. Now, as a, you know, as a 46-year-old guy now, I look at it who's gone through all of this, you know, rigorous training to make my art better. You know, is it so great? No, I mean, but it has its qualities. It definitely pulled in kids and stuff like that, you know, so that's important too. It doesn't just have to be about technicality, you know?
Absolutely.
So this is part of the Nightfall storyline. And so to give people some context to that, this took place just like a year maybe or two after the death of Superman was like a huge thing for DC. They needed to come up with something to pull people into Batman again. So they decided to break his back. They invented Bane, and this is issue 16 of Nightfall, I guess. Although I thought that the issue before this was the one where he actually gets his back cracked. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's before this because, I mean, we could touch on that too. Because on the inside, that is also, again, it spoke to me as a kid. I'm like, oh, Batman is in a wheelchair now. He's some other guy running wild with the suit, and this is all bad. But I'm genuinely concerned. I'm like Gotham is being controlled, or he's being, protected, I guess, by a madman.
Yeah, this is actually, I read it last night. This is actually a really fun issue because you've got what's his name? John Paul Valley has taken over the mantle of Batman. He's been chosen specifically by Bruce Wayne because Bruce has had his back broken at this point, right?
It's all bad.
Tim Drake, I think, is Robin. Is that right? In this one?
I can't remember. It's been years.
They never actually say it, but they kind of allude to it in the story when I read it. This guy, I think later on in issues, this is the guy who becomes Azrael, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah.
He eventually, it's like he's still sticking around.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how Bruce came to meet this guy, but the guy is a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
So look at this. So I love this shot, man. Look at this. Like they just whitewash the face. He doesn't even draw it. It's just like fire bursting out from this punch. He hits him so hard.
Yeah, and you've got I love you've got the reaction too. Like his fingers are all bent, and you could just feel the pain. The hat's flying off.
Yeah.
Robin, again, he's horrified back there. He can't believe what he's seeing.
Yeah, he's worried in this story because Bruce told him, all right, this is going to be the guy. It's not going to be you, Tim, or whoever it is. I picked this guy, but I want you to keep an eye on him and keep him under control and make sure that he's given me a good name. And the guy's just not listening at all. Check this out. Robin ducks a sledgehammer swing, which doesn't look like it was even going to hit him.
Yeah, I know.
Smashes right into the side of this guy's head.
He's jumping between them.
Yeah. Robin, you're not so you're just as bad. You kind of led that sledgehammer right into that guy's head, man.
But I do remember that you're kind of you're living through Robin in this issue. You feel his anxiety. He's kind of holding the weight of this other Batman. Well, he's not really Batman, but this guy who's pretending to be Batman. He's witnessing what he's doing, and he's just a teenager. He can't tell him what to do. So
yeah. I still just love the classic blue cowl and gray costume with the yellow thing. I just wish that was still what was going on. I mean, this is what did we say? 3?
93.
So let's see here. So this is like 4 years after Tim Burton's Batman came out. So they weren't like, oh, Tim Burton's Batman was a huge hit. We've got to we've got to put him in a black suit right now. And it's got to be like this and that and grounded. They didn't do that in the comics. And I'm grateful that we still had a couple years of like old school Batman before they, put him in armor and crap. The bad guys always crack me up too. They just look like just
Jim Bro.
Yeah, it's just okay. It's funny.
I don't even know what they did wrong, but
yeah, they're probably just hanging out, working on a car.
Yeah. Might be starting a YouTube channel or something.
Right. Look out. So the artist on this, by the way, is it's Graham Nolan, and Dick Giordano inked it. Chuck Dixon wrote this one. Yeah. So, he's just like beating the shit out of all these people, and to the point where he's going to kill him. and Robin like holds him back, which I think is funny too, because this guy is like on hyper adrenaline, and Robin's this little kid and is able to hold him back.
I know. Yeah.
But, you know, again, they weren't worried about basing it in reality. And so we go to, you know, Bruce Wayne. He's in the wheelchair. He's trying to call his doctor, but the doctor is over at Tim Drake's dad's house, who lives next door. And so he's gonna, yeah, right. He's like, oh, I should have Alfred do it, but Alfred's exhausted from taking care of him, so he's gonna go over there himself. So I guess this is Tim Drake's dad, and I guess this is like the nanny or the housekeeper or somebody leaving the house, and we see like the barrel, the end of this machine gun here as she's walking out. This shows you the timeline right here. This ad.
Oh yeah.
Appearing in person, Rob Liefeld and Extreme Studios with Jim Shooter. Oh, yeah. So we got Defiant. So it's not even, it's Valiant is over, I think. The only Defiant comic I remember was Plasm. Did you ever see that one?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I have no idea what it was even about. No clue. But I thought for a second when I first saw this that I was like, oh, this is in Mile High Comics I thought it was in New York, but it's in Anaheim, because I was thinking, oh, they flew Rob and the Extreme Studios guys out, but that's where Extreme Studios was Anaheim. So he's just not a big deal to walk down the street, I guess.
No, he might have rode his bike there.
Yeah. Or one of the 10 Porsches that he bought for everybody.
True.
So I don't know why this crossed my mind, but so he goes over, he wheels himself over next door and finds this guy hanging out in the bushes, smoking a cigar. And it crossed my mind that if you're trying to be hiding in the bushes, probably the last thing you want to be doing is puffing on a cigar.
Yeah, real odd choice there. and again, that never clicked in my head as a kid, but now
right. Sense. Yeah, no, we're seeing it through the lens of being adults now. It's weird, but yeah, like
I just thought, oh, this is like a badass, like Rambo type guy or something, and
yeah, cigars are for tough guys.
And you've got the shadows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that panel a lot.
Yeah,
the way they hide the guy.
Good composition.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce sneaking up on him.
Yeah. And then we see Bane here. He's just got his weird. I don't really know that much about this stuff, but like I guess he was like injected with like adrenaline or some sort of drug that made him beast out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Roid rage.
Yeah, but he can control it somehow, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, right. Yeah, roids are in the news, and roid raging is a term I've heard. Let's amp that up and turn it into a character.
Mm-hmm.
I
was that face on the next page of Robin. It's got a nice up. I remember
this one here.
Being pretty impressed.
Yeah, that is a pretty good shot.
Yeah, the second page there.
Mm-hmm.
And also the first panel on the left-hand side. That's
this one here.
Quintessential. Yes.
Yep.
Swinging.
Yeah, no background. Let's star the characters.
Yep.
This is an interesting choice to have it bust out of the panel with just the cape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is
leading the eye, I guess.
It leads you right into it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then again, so is the rope and arms, so.
True.
It kind of gets lost a little bit.
Oh, little tangent there with the arrow in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Again, these are technicalities that only we care about.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's okay. It's important to talk about. We're cartoonists, and I'm sure cartoonists, the 5 people that watch this are also cartoonists. So So yeah, they of course the like head of all the crime families, they gather at this dome in the middle of the city. Of course they do, to hang out.
Where else would you?
So yeah, so instead of like he's getting bored of messing with alley punks, he wants to go for the head.
He's going
So
to the
he's
top.
trying to bring Robin there, yeah. And meanwhile, they're talking about their feelings. He's beginning to feel useless around here. He's feeling unwanted. Poor guy, poor Robin. So
I'm glad
you
you
got
read
Bruce.
this
Like,
because
how
I
is?
don't remember exactly what happened.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
um.
Oh, I see it there. Now I'm feeling unwanted. I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
keeping Paul to the rule book.
Yep.
But again, yeah, it was
Maybe.
very real as a kid. This is the weight of the world is on his shoulders, and
yeah. And I like this lead in here because it's and what can he do in his condition? Usually I wouldn't like bring a panel from a previous scene into the next page, but it kind of works here. You know what I mean? Because now we're going back into Bruce from this thing, but it works a little bit here. It could have also worked on the previous page, but
hang on, are those
so
captions?
what can he do in his condition? And now he's gonna kick some ass in his wheelchair.
Those are captions for the new Batman?
No, these are captions for, yeah, they're captions for Robin.
Oh, okay.
So he's sort of thinking these things, but though they don't
Right.
use thought balloons, they just use captions.
I guess
Yeah,
the
so he's
thought
gonna
balloons are
kick the
already
shit
gone
out of
by
this
now.
guy. Mm-hmm. Oh, Batman Returns is out. Got to get the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Some rad graphics. That's a step up from regular Nintendo.
For sure.
So he comes down. He thinks that maybe there's just one bad guy, but it turns out there's a whole shit ton of them. They're taking his doctor now. You know, how's he going to get better if he doesn't have a doctor? And he can't take out all these guys. He's in a wheelchair, but he's also Batman. So,
right.
And then we go to the dome, and we got the mob leaders all sitting here talking about how they're kind of afraid of Bane. One of them is trying to get everybody to agree to just hand over your territories. It's fine. They're not going to do it. And this Batman, he just can't wait around. So he's going in. He's just going to go fuck him up and see what happens.
Oh, we're on the next page.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a little bit too overzealous, or
Mm-hmm.
He's got it all mapped out. And interesting choice to see. I never would have done this personally. Panel 2 to 3, it's the same shot.
Yeah.
And that would be very boring, and just I wouldn't want to ever do that. And I mean, I've done it, but I hate doing that. It's like, for one, it works. It completely works. It just like, oh, now I got to try to line that up and do the exact same.
I do it very rarely because it feels too much like I'm moving into animation or film and not into comics. But there are certain circumstances. I wouldn't say that this was one. He could have definitely like at least moved the camera,
right.
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
But Jim Starlin did it a lot, I think, and it worked for him. But it also became part of his style.
Right.
Like
just
the 9-panel grid for Alan
I
Moore
personally, I don't really care for it. It does work,
yeah.
but why not do something different? And
yeah,
and not only that, it's is that not boring for you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not kind of a pain. Like, even look at the little mechanism there.
Yeah.
It's clearly we had to redraw it, and it's different. But again, we're really nitpicking here.
Oh yeah, totally.
We're complete comic nerds right now. Comic making nerds.
Comic making nerd. Well, that's the thing, is this is your job. If you're getting paid for this, you should be as versed on storytelling as you can be. And I think it's important. See, I think it's important to have these conversations because everybody's got their opinion. It's gonna be different for everybody. But if you could state your case and make a good case for it, then it helps other cartoonists kind of consider it themselves and grow. And we can all tell better stories.
And again, it's not a critique.
In that way.
Just, if I was given this job, that just would never come to my mind. But hey, he might think, you know what? I don't have to come up with something new. That's how his brain works, and it does. Like I said, at the end of the day, it does work.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It's legible. It works. I'm really, really nitpicking there, like genuinely. That's. So yeah.
He did shift it slightly, but just like that much.
I don't even think it was intended to be shifted, though.
No, I don't think so either, because the way that this is and the way Robin's body is positioned.
And
this
like
is interesting because.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the little mechanism to the right there. It's pretty clear to me that we've got another tangent from panel 2 to 3. The little metal tubes, they're connecting.
Oh, yes, they are. And also whatever he has.
How long did that take me to spot? 3 minutes?
Yeah, right. You're not going to. Yeah, that's the thing, is your eyes looking at this for less than a second.
Right.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's good. Another. We want to really go into it.
Yeah, go into it.
Panel 3, Robin's hand. The middle finger is completely lining up with the index and the ring finger, and that's bothering me. That's been bothering me since I saw it.
Let me see if I can make it. It would have to be that angle for my fingers to line up.
No, it never works. It never.
But my hand is down like that, so.
No, yeah. But again, I'm really, I'm the 0.01% that cares. So.
Right.
Another.
Yeah, thing. I mean, also they probably, they kick. You got to kick. You know how it is. Like, you got to kick this thing out the door too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's got no.
I'll get it next time. Totally.
So
this is interesting that they got this version of Batman here, because I think this is the version that this guy turns into, or is this? I can't remember if this is like,
I'm pretty sure
Batman with his spine. This is no, but I think this is the guy that turns into Azrael. I don't know. I'm a really bad nerd.
He's the next. He was the next. This fake Batman goes to him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But so they're already announcing that he's going to look like this eventually in the story. That.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting people excited.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Bruce comes in. He's going to take all these guys out. He's just going to mess them all up. They're trying to shoot him, like kill. Like something says like kill that cripple or something like that here somewhere. Like, ooh,
really?
That's I can't remember where it is. Maybe it's a previous page or something. Yeah, so they're really just jumping back and forth. We're really at the climax of it here now. So they're down. They're kicking the crap out of these
businessmen,
mob guys.
You got the classic Robin. They did this. I don't think they really do this as much anymore. The panel 2, with to show
The flippy
motion.
dips. Yeah.
Yeah, where you see multiple drawings of the same character to kind of indicate he's doing
Yeah.
this.
Frank Miller really did that a lot in Daredevil.
Mm.
And I don't know if he started that or if he just really kind of went with it a lot.
Popularized it.
Yeah.
Another thing that's just slightly bothering me, Batman in the top panel there. I feel like you would see. Again, he's got deadlines, but you would see a little bit of his boot there.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a fan, that would kind of satisfy me a little more. But again, this is my messed up, overly
Right here,
analytical
you
mind.
mean?
That's what's that?
Yeah. In this shot, you mean?
Yes.
Where he's kicking him in the face? Yeah, his boot would definitely be like at least the size of the guy's head, you know?
Right. Right. But as it's there, not only do you not see it, it's as if it's going behind his head.
Yeah.
And why is the guy
Yeah.
to the left? Why is his head nearly at the top of the table? It doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't know. It's crouching behind it, maybe?
It's kind of that perspective. You just wouldn't really see him down there. Because look at the guy in the back with the Uzi. He's standing
Right.
up. His waist is where the table is.
Yeah. I mean, I could justify that by saying he's ducking or crouching, but
True. True.
still.
It is possible, just not likely.
No, there's still something weird going on here. And I also am not a big fan of when panel borders break over the top unless there's like a really good reason, but this guy's got them breaking everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The only thing I could think there is maybe if you were to cut it off, it might look a little awkward. Might look a little. Oh, another tangent too. Yeah, he's breaking the panel border with panel three. Robin doing the kick, and the
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
staff
here. Oh,
the staff is being cut off by panel one, and it's just kind of not the best choice. I don't
mm-hmm.
know. Something about it's
Yeah.
off.
You know, this is the time when panel border breaking was just really starting to happen a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple years before this, definitely. But I think maybe people were still just trying to figure out how to make it work the best.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's a good page. It does work. Um, he's even he's got two kicks, two major kicks, and he's switching up the angle. Like
Yeah.
it does work. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Another well, I just caught another thing that's the last panel. A guy in the white suit, his right arm
Yeah.
was holding the gun. It's a little
Mm-hmm.
awkward. Why would it ever be in that position?
Yeah.
But again, now I feel like I'm really.
Such a dick.
Yeah, I need. Hang on. Let me stop.
No, I'm kidding.
But I
No,
never would
it's
have
all
seen
good.
it
No,
as a
this is
kid.
like I said, it's okay to look at this stuff and say, I think I would have done that better or different, not better. Let me rephrase that differently if I had the time. And we don't know if this guy was like got a call on, like 7 days before this 22
Absolutely.
page issue was due. I've had those jobs too.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, let's go to the next page. I do like
Yeah.
the wheel breaking up the panel. Panel four. I think
Did I
that's pretty
miss something
clever.
here?
What's that?
Where are we talking about here? The wheel.
Oh, it's the right hand page, panel four.
Oh.
Sorry, I kind of jumped there.
Oh. Okay, I see. Yeah,
I
I
think that's
see.
pretty
Right.
clever. I like
Yeah,
that.
that is pretty clever. It took me a second to even realize that was the wheel, though. But
I
again,
never. I think I
nitpicking.
never would have. This is the first time I'm knowing what that is.
Yeah.
As a kid, I definitely didn't
This
know
is
what that was.
Yeah, this is the first time that I can really see him using like foreground elements for framing in any way. And it's not even really framing it. It's just sort of like, let's try this.
Just a style
Yeah.
type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was on a major deadline, I don't think he'd be doing that. Just to be fair.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Um, on the next page here, he gives us this open panel. I really like that one. It gives your
Yeah,
eye
that
kind of
works.
a break.
I like that.
Yeah. We
Great
find out in the
composition.
story here that the reason that that this mob boss is trying to get all the other mob bosses to just kind of bend their knee to Bane is because Bane is holding his kids hostage and will do terrible things to them. But I really, there's all the time there's these like rafter fights,
Yeah.
and they can get pretty crazy and intense, and you don't know what's up and what's down. And I think he does a pretty good job of switching up the angle, making us feel like it's real high.
Mm-hmm. I like the
That
panel 2 where he's just kind of bulldozing the guy.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow on where his belt is in the shirt. I like that effect.
Here, yeah,
I think that's pretty effective. Because that's another thing. Most most comics, especially from this time, it's a lot of almost all of it is of the inking is a stark black or the pure white of the page, and you don't get a lot of gray,
mm-hmm.
which is one thing that
Right,
for the longest time I would never do shadows. I would just do earlier on. I had more of like an open line style because I just didn't really know
yeah,
how to do shadows. I just so I didn't do them, and part of it was that everything you saw in comics was like I said, you've got the pure black ink or
mm-hmm.
the white of the page, and that I just could not make it look right. It looked too I could never find the gray, or I could never find a way to kind of blend or like kind of on the
Yeah,
panel 2, his muscles, how it's kind of feathering out. Um,
yeah.
even that I could not really, I couldn't sell that. Uh, and that's
That's really funny. Clearly, you worked on that quite a bit because you're a master at it now.
well, I don't know about that, but thanks. Um, but yeah, it was always something that really stumped me. Like
Yeah.
like go to the right hand page, panel 4, his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
See the black shadows.
Yes.
Um, the best, whenever I attempted it, it would be something like that, where it's just the stark, um, almost like cell animation style. Where you're just kind of you're blocking out the shapes of where the shadows will be, and then where it will be left white. And
Right.
it looked very awkward and just rigid and just kind of it looked off. It was very off. So for the longest time, that really troubled me.
So you needed to figure out a way to transition from stark white to black. You needed to have something in
Yeah,
between.
because anytime I'd even dip my toes into doing any kind of shadow, it just was not working. It was really
Yeah.
not working. So I don't know. We're kind of going on a tangent there, but
No,
well,
it's fine.
I do see it a little bit. Panel 2, the shadow under his nose.
Here you go. Yep.
I like that. Plus, you got the color to mix with it, and it's pretty effective.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it's just hatching and feathering
on
here,
his skin,
like on
you've
the
got the
cheek.
black shadow. So when
Hmm.
you combine them, that's really nice.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah, this looks
I'd
like it
never
was
be able
inked
to
in
do
like
that.
all. Yeah, this looks like it was inked in all brush, and then you had like at this time you had like before this too you had like Scott Williams coming up with like the sort of the V um like what do they call it? Do they call it the V line or the W line? It would just like it's almost like an ocean wave that would go along a line to sort of do that
Um,
transition.
I wish I knew what you meant, but I'm
But
familiar with his work. But
yeah, well, you can think of any Jim Lee thing, and there's hatching, there's he's hatching and cross hatching, but then he also does this like sort of like a wave, like a V that would go on it, and it did an interesting way of
oh, you just
transitioning.
mean kind of like an angled line like this, and then one like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yep,
okay.
yep. So he would just sort of go like a wave almost, or a V.
Right.
But that's with a quill, and then I feel like it looks like this entire issue was inked with a brush, so that'd be Dick Giordano's work on that.
I also like um the eyebrows on panel 2. That was another thing.
Yeah,
Like being a Batman
that's
fan, of
classic.
course,
Hmm.
of course, I tried to draw him a million times, and you
Yeah.
need to have shadows of Batman. I could
Hmm.
never figure out that face because how do you like? There's a nose there. There's shadows under the eyes, but yeah, I don't know what the point of saying this is, but
Well,
it was always just a
it
mystery. There's no go through
yeah,
way. Kind of like Spider-Man. There is a map. There's a roadmap there to just kind of follow that webbing, do the eyes, and you got him.
yeah.
Batman, it's a little more open.
Well, he's got such a longer history, I think. Yeah, you're also right, and also it's about the way that people play with that dark tone over his face. I feel like Neil Adams maybe kind of, well, I don't know. He definitely used that sort of like white or open brow thing to affect um with Batman. It's very stylized because you would never see it like that. This is almost
Right.
like a shadow cast over his brow ridge, but
Mm-hmm.
instead they just draw it as eyebrows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
a
sort of like a weird stylized thing that you see that and it's Batman. Like if I put up if I put up like 50 just masks of characters and you see that, you're gonna know that that's Batman.
yeah.
They almost use that specifically for him.
Right. Also uh you know what? Never mind.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move to the next page.
Oh, and I think that's the end.
Well, there's one. Yeah, this is the last page is here when he's jumping down with the guy.
He's full on manic at this point. He's full on.
Yeah, he's tired of Robin's shit,
It's completely gone to his head, and he's doing what he wants. And I was hooked at that point. Like
Yeah.
that was compelling to me. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And then, you see what's going to come up next. You got Detective 666.
Can't miss
But these
that one.
Kelley Jones covers, you just want to be like, I want that. I want to read that. I want to see more of that. I want interiors like that. Give
Yep.
it to me.
Which he did eventually do.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was doing interiors at this time too, but maybe it was on the Batman regular Batman title.
yeah, I think so. But
And
the
I don't
only
know if
thing,
it was bi-monthly or twice, not by whatever, twice a
something
month
about the
at this
covers
point. I'm
look
not
different
sure.
though. Like I don't know if it's his
Uh,
inking style or something, but
well, yeah, it's definitely the lighting for sure.
yeah.
But I like how on this one get it a little closer. It's hard to, but I like how it's the lighting is right behind him. you know,
Hmm.
so bright as where he's coming from, and then you got the stark black shadow on his cape right in front of you, and then he just leaves because that light is shining right in between like the valley of the cape there.
Yeah,
He just doesn't ink it, and just leaves it blank. That's such a cool choice.
yeah, and I like the
And then this
little
uplighting on,
the glove too, how um it's attached, but like it works,
yeah,
fully works. Like,
yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, I mean, you would have inked that too somehow in black in reality, but he needed to show that, oh, now these like claws are coming out, you know.
Hmm.
So this is, I don't know, it's just awesome. It's
Yeah,
just such a weird style, and it totally works. And I would have loved to
yeah,
see a million of his books.
for sure.
Well, that's it. Detective Comics number 665.
One of the world's greatest comics.
Well, it did hook a young Matt Lesniewski to, you know, maybe somewhere along the way get the idea that maybe I could do this. So we're grateful for you, Batman number 665.
Kelley Jones, thank him.
Yes, for sure. Well, maybe I can get him on here sometime and thank him personally.
Definitely.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon, where at the $3 level, I'll send you my sketchbook, The Sketch of the Masters. And at the $5 level, I'll send you the sketchbook, plus my mini stories, Not Man Nor Beast, but Moss, Stench of the Sea, and The Voyeur. At the $8 level, after a year, you'll get a commission. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter in the show notes. Check out my store, where I have lots of original art. And you can also buy books like Lost Angels, a sci-fi YA adventure about a girl who has to solve a mystery in a crashed alien city. Spectral, a showcase of fear, is about a sinister puppet master who travels from town to town telling tales to children who may never sleep again. You can request a commission at any time just by contacting me. Here is a list of the upcoming conventions that I'll be at the time that this video was released. And don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the video. Again, thanks for watching.